The first time I arrived in Prague, the city greeted me with a sky painted in crimson and gold. The Vltava River shimmered under the last rays of the sun, and the towers of the old town stretched upward like guardians of forgotten stories. They call Prague the city of 100 spires. But as I stepped onto its cobbled streets, I quickly realized that those spires weren't just pointing to heaven. They were also pointing back into the shadows of the past. By daylight, Prague is enchanting. The astronomical clock ticks away in the old town square, its figures dancing every hour as tourists cheer in awe. Charles Bridge hums with life, street musicians, painters, lovers carving their moments into eternity. But when the sun falls and the lanterns flicker to life, the city transforms. The same streets that welcomed you now whisper in hushed tones. The Gothic towers lean a little closer, as though they're listening to your steps. And the river reflects not only light, but something darker, something ancient. In the cobbled maze of the old town, you might stumble upon a small, unassuming alley. Yet there's magic woven into its bricks, for this is where the story of the Golem unfolds. Centuries ago, in the Jewish quarter, lived Rabbi Lo, a man of God with a heart full of courage and a mind sharp as a winter's night. When his people faced danger, he created a protector from clay and breathed life into it with sacred words. This was the Golem, tall, silent, and unstoppable. For a time, it protected the innocent, but soon it grew restless, uncontrollable. Fearing its power, the rabbi removed the words that gave it life. They say the Golem still lies in the attic of the old new synagogue, waiting. And on stormy nights, some claim they can hear heavy footsteps echoing above. Imagine the scene. A full moon hangs heavy in the sky, casting long shadows from the crooked rooftops. The old town square is deserted, save for you and the sound of your own footsteps on the ancient cobblestones. Suddenly, a gust of wind whips around you, stirring up fallen leaves and setting them swirling through the square like tiny ghosts. The old buildings seem to lean closer, their gables forming a shadowy arch overhead. And then you hear it, a low rumble like distant thunder, growing louder with each passing moment. It seems to come from the very foundations of the earth. Then out of the corner of your eye, you see it, a towering figure emerging from the gloom, its form shifting and indistinct in the moonlight. The Golem is stirring. Is it merely a trick of the light, or is the monster of legend taking its first step into the night? Will you flee in terror or stand your ground and face whatever may come? The choice, my friend, is yours. Prague Castle is one of the largest ancient castles in the world. As you explore its vast courtyards and staterooms, you might feel the weight of centuries pressing down on you. But within its high walls lies a darker tale. Imagine yourself in the castle dungeon, a place where prisoners once languished before mysteriously vanishing. The air is thick with the scent of damp stone and decay. Cobwebs hang like shrouds from the vaulted ceiling. And then you hear it, a scratching sound, like fingernails dragging metal moans. A shadow flickers in the torch-lit darkness. Could it be the ghost of a tortured soul, forever trapped within these subterranean chambers? What will you do when the darkness around you takes shape and the secrets of Prague Castle come alive? Lesser Town, a picturesque neighborhood that sits majestically at the foot of Prague Castle. Its narrow streets and alleys often feel like a world apart from the bustling city center. But as dusk settles and the gas lamps illuminate the way, an eerie quiet descends. You find yourself alone in an alleyway, the weathered walls closing in around you. Suddenly, the air grows cold, and a pair of eyes seems to appear in the gloom at the end of the alley. As you cautiously approach, the eyes vanish, but then you hear it, the sound of footsteps, soft yet deliberate, padding soundlessly behind you. You turn to face the darkness, your heart pounding, and realize you're not alone. But sometimes the scariest stories are whispered in the quietest corners. Imagine standing in a crowded square during the day, surrounded by tourists snapping photos and street vendors hawking their wares. You might not expect to find darkness here, but look closer. In the faded frescoes adorning the nearby buildings, you might catch a glimpse of eyes peering down at you. These aren't just artistic flourishes, they say. They're the eyes of Prague, watching, waiting. And as night falls and the crowds have vanished, you'll understand why. The square is transformed, the playful daytime atmosphere evaporating into thin air. Now, only the echo of your footsteps breaks the silence. As you pass under the archway, the buildings seem to close in, forming a tunnel of darkness. You feel a sudden drop in temperature, and the whispers start, carried on the wind. They seem to emanate from the very stones themselves. Legends tell of a creature known as the Azelic, a malevolent spirit that haunts these shadowed alleys. With eyes like burning coals, it seeks out unsuspecting travelers to lead them astray, both physically and spiritually. Can you brave the darkness and escape the clutches of the Azelic? Or will you lose yourself forever in its maze of shadows? Jewish cemetery, a haunting testament to centuries past. The worn tombstones stand shoulder to shoulder, their faded inscriptions a silent testimony to countless lives lived and lost. Yet beneath this somber veneer lies a darkness that stirs in the night. Imagine walking among the headstones, their weathered surfaces rough against your fingertips. A sense of foreboding creeps over you as you realize the immensity of human sorrow that permeates the very fabric of this place. Suddenly, a cold hand seems to brush against your arm, and you hear a whisper carried on the wind. It speaks of prayers spoken in a language long forgotten and of souls that refuse to find peace. But sometimes the greatest horrors lurk in the most ordinary of places. Picture yourself strolling along the Charles Bridge, its medieval architecture bathed in the golden glow of sunset. Musicians play lively tunes, adding to the festive atmosphere. Couples stroll hand in hand, and street vendors sell their wares to the steady stream of tourists. But as the sun dips below the horizon and the crowds begin to thin, the mood shifts. The cheerful music fades, replaced by an unsettling silence. You notice a change in the air, a subtle shift from merriment to unease. The lamplight flickers, casting long shadows that dance and twist across the bridge. And then you see it, a lone figure standing motionless at the edge of the bridge, silhouetted against the fading light. Slowly, the figure turns, revealing a face drained of color, eyes hollow and staring. Is it a mere tourist lost in thought, or something more sinister? An entity tethered to the bridge by some unseen force? Dare you approach and discover the truth? For in Prague, reality blurs with myth and legend, and the boundaries between light and darkness grow ever thinner. So as you wander the city's enchanting streets, keep your senses sharp and your wits about you, for who knows what horrors may linger just beyond your sight, waiting to spill into the daylight. In the depths of Old Town Square, there's a place that seems untouched by time. The mesmerizing astronomical clock. By day, it is a marvel, its intricate gears and dials a testament to human ingenuity. But as night falls, it takes on a darker persona. The old clock tower looms over the square, its silhouette stark against the darkening sky. The playful daytime chimes are replaced by a heavy toll that echoes through the deserted streets. The ornate figures that danced merrily during the day now appear sinister, their faces twisted into grotesque grimaces. Legend has it that when the clock strikes midnight, the spirits that inhabit the clock come alive. They stir, they stretch, and they peer down at the sleeping city, eager to wreak havoc on those foolish enough to wander below. So if you happen to be near the square when the clock strikes 12, don't stand beneath it. Look up and pray that the spirits find you wanting. For the old clock tower is a place where fantasy and nightmare intertwine. As you make your way through the labyrinthine streets of Prague, you might stumble upon a small, unassuming alley. Yet there's magic woven into its bricks, for this is where the story of the Golem unfolds. Centuries ago, in the Jewish quarter, lived Rabbi Lo, a man of God with a heart full of courage and a mind sharp as a winter's night. When his people faced danger, he created a protector from clay and breathed life into it with sacred words. This was the Golem, tall, silent, and unstoppable. For a time it protected the innocent, but soon it grew restless, uncontrollable. Fearing its power, the rabbi removed the words that gave it life. They say the Golem still lies in the attic of the old new synagogue, waiting. And on stormy nights, some claim they can hear heavy footsteps echoing above. Now it's time for you to choose your path. Which dark tale will you encounter next in the city of 100 spires? The choice, my friend, is yours. But remember, in Prague, the shadows hold secrets best left undisturbed. So proceed with caution and hold on tight to your senses. Who knows what horrors might leap from the shadows, eager to entangle you in their timeless embrace.